And we're back. Woo! What is up, my peoples? You crazy, crazy mofos. What the hell are you doing watching this show? Don't you know you're going to get on a list? Anyway, today is another day. Today is actually the day after yesterday. So, yesterday meaning the day that I did this art stream, and I discovered I'm talking too much and not working enough. Bad, Donald. Bad. So that's a no. That's a no. Must not talk too much. I get so excited about what's happening in the chat and all these really cool people, and I don't want to miss out on the fun. So anyway, that's the life, I guess. Anyway, here we go. Another one. Mm. So, I really should call this like the Donald Kent Muse Hour. The musings of Donald Kent. What is he thinking today? And who really cares? I heard that. So that's a thing. And yeah, you have your internal monologue going every day about stuff. I don't know. I guess it's just what I do, I just amuse. Do I amuse you? Funny how? Eh? Anyway, that's my Joe Pesci. What's going on? My channel, you've got the award of most watched streams, I'd say. I imagine your phone has like a bell or something that's goes off when I'm on or something like that. So here we are in the third dimension. What's it all about? What's it all about? It's my new song. So what's going on in the news? Patriot Front in New York City. Yes. Yes. And the usual reactions. The left is like, Nazi fascist. They just the usual shit because they'd much rather die in a communist gulag. Actually, they wouldn't be in the gulag. They would probably be the officers of the gulag. Well, the people that turn in their neighbors and shit. Those kind of people. And then the conservatards are like, yeah, nice try, feds. Yeah, you can tell they're all feds. It's because they're wearing khaki pants. Like, hopelessly stupid. I don't know if it's stupidity. I think it's cowardice, though. I really feel whenever I have to interface with one of these idiots, I say like, not this is what a real patriot looks like. It's they're doing what you should have done. What you could have done, and it's like a cope. I'm sorry, I'm off screen. It's a cope. They can't cope with the truth of like white men taking back their country, and speaking up for our own fucking demographics. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there you go, and now you know. It's just another day. Oh, getting down, man. Getting down with the big band sound. So Sunday night is jam night. Weather permitting, hook up with some buds and strum some guitar strings. Rock it out. A little bit of music is good for the soul. All work and no music makes Donald a dull boy. You know what I mean? Sorry, I shouldn't talk like that. Yeah, I have to sort of give my buddy a text and say, like, let's not screw it up this week. I was really mad at you last week. I'm like a little baby, like, you screwed up the schedule. I wanted to jam. I'm being mean to myself. That's kind of a cruel thing to say. It's a lot more than just I want to jam. It's I'm lonely and depressed and get me out of my head. It's more like what it is. Um. Uh oh. Uh oh. Subject shows signs of distress, may be prone to irrational acts of violence. Yeah, put that down in the notes there. Hey, just trying to help you guys. You know how, like, you guys know who Jim Gaffigan is, the comedian Jim Gaffigan? He's one of my favorite comedians. He has this thing in his shtick where he'll suddenly pretend he's somebody in the audience and like speaking under their breath or like what they're thinking about him as a comedian. Like, oh my god, is there gonna be food jokes all night? Or just like funny things that he does. It's super funny because like he steps out of himself for a minute, and pretends to be like someone in the audience who's like unhappy or disgruntled or has no sense of humor kind of thing. So I thought it'd be funny if I did that, but uh my voice would be like an FBI agent coming like, is he constantly going to talk about spiritual things? That doesn't fit the case study very well. How am I going to I'm going to lose my job. How am I going to pay for that summer vacation at Epstein Island? I don't know. I'm maybe a little too harsh on the feds. I should probably try being nicer, like they would to me. Um, that was a bit snarky. It was a bit snarky. Okay, okay. So, what else is up? Here we are again. I'm concentrating on my drawing. I'm not so much into the. I guess I need a topic, and then I can muse on a topic. And preferably not like catastrophe or like uh, EDM or not EDM, EMP attacks or things of that nature. Anyway, nice bass action there. Ah, oh. So I just had a really really good kung fu workout before doing the stream. Just got out of the shower. I'm feeling fresh. DJ Jazzy Fresh over here. That's right, peeps. Um, what else can I tell you? It's feeling fine. I have this. My back isn't so great, so like I use this. It's like I don't know what it's called. It's essentially like a beach ball, but it's for doing sit-ups on and that kind of shit. And so I grind out you know like 100 sit-ups on this thing, and then but I'm able to, because of just the position of it and the way that it all kind of comes together. I'm able to actually do like punches and blocks and just kind of combine techniques with it. Robert Piles here. What? All right. No, no shit's getting dangerous, man. Watch out when Robert's in the house. How you doing, buddy? You ready for another 2 hours of wasting your time with me? So it's I'm talking a little bit about Patriot Front in New York City and how insufferable the comment sections are and these things. Like the liberals, like they lose their shit. Like they lose their shit. They can't stand Patriot Front. It's like, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be free. You're not supposed to stand up for your human rights. And they try to mock them for things like, oh, you guys are wearing matching pants today. Meanwhile, like, it's just like cope or seethe. You know what I mean? It's just, they got nothing. So anyway, it's just, we're just gonna keep being here. We're just gonna keep being who we are and doing what we do. Is that Western Kind United? Holy someone is up late. Well, what time is it? It's like 9:20. Shit, I gotta work tomorrow too. This working on weekends shit sucks, man. I mean, I like my job, but fuck, dude. Like, on a Saturday night, I don't really. Yeah, I squeeze in, club sessions and some things here and there and stuff. But like overall, it does throw your social life under the bus, though. I hate to say that. That's kind of. I mean, I'm okay. Like I don't. I'm okay, and it's not like a big whoop or whatever. Oh, time for a commercial. We must change the commercial and turn off the sound because I don't like someone's message on my time. Thank you. That's like a thing that I do. I'm really enjoying this vibe though. I think this is quite a nice vibe we got going here with my peeps. I gotta stop talking black like that with my peeps and stuff. I don't know. You guys are like, oh, he joined the other side. Yes, I'm a card carrying communist now. Um, oh, dude, we got like the band is back together. It's like, you know, we're on a mission from God. We're getting the band together. It's the crew, the wrecking crew. It's ready to wreck your Saturday night. Oh, so hold on here. So many tools and so little time. How am I going to change the world just in the nick of time? How am I going to save the world? I was talking to somebody about just like the stress that I have over like how things are and shit. And at some point, the way that I phrased it was something like, it's like, how are we going to save the world? And the guy I was talking to was like, whoa, 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 save the world? Like, what are you, like, dude, like you're on another planet here, buddy. You're not, like that's, I don't know why. I've always thought that that's like a reasonable thing to want to do. But how are you going to save the world if you can't save yourself? You gotta, I think, kind of start at home a bit. In a sense, you can maybe only impact the people around you. You know, I think. Oh shit. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? How do you save the world? I missed your last show, live show, but I just got done watching the replay just before coming here. Wow, dude, you're doubling up, my man. 100 points for that. Robert says, I talk like that all the time. People don't like it and tell me to stop, but I can't. I've been doing for too long. Yeah, well, we're in the end game now. That's what, is it Captain America who said that? I think it was Doctor Strange who said that. We're in the end game now. Ah, my chair. I need a new chair. The sort of, it's just stupid. I won't explain to you, but my chair is behaving not as it should. Okay. The Foibles of Donald Kent. That'd be a great book right there. The Foibles of Donald Kent. Yeah, dude, the world's got to get saved, you know? Shit's out of hand. Yeah. It's one of the aspects of the whole UFO thing, that's going on is there's a kind of a message that they're gonna come and stop the shit that's going on. And it's like, okay, is this like a Q? Q. Remember Q? Is this like a Q-tard psyop? Is that what we're doing now? Is that or you know what I'm saying, right? Is it the government with their UFOs that are going to come and like, people of Earth, we have a new system for you. It will be digital IDs and Sharia law. You will be happy to be the slaves of the Jew. People of Earth, we are superior. We have UFOs. Therefore, you must trust us. And then everyone will go, wow, that's true. They got UFOs. Holy shit. This is for the better, man. Only time will tell, my man. Actually, I had a really kind of a sad and disturbing. Oh yeah, there's Don for picking everybody up here. Yay, Mr. Positive. So, sort of a sad and disturbing thing that happened today. I was grocery shopping after work, and I'm at one of these places where you put like a coin in the when you get shut up. I'm trying to work here. Shut up. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So you put a quarter in the shopping cart thing, and then you take it out and blah blah blah. And I'm going to my car. I'm putting the food away, and like there was something like that. And anyway, I'm like I met some lady in the parking lot who needed a cart, that kind of thing. And she's how old would she? I'd say she's probably about 60, blonde lady. And I don't know how this. Oh, it was like 25 cents for the cart. And she goes, I remember when it was 10 cents. And like I joked, I said, yeah, inflation, And then she goes, yeah, it's too bad my paycheck doesn't go up. And then somehow or other that led to her saying, I hope Trump wins, And I told her I believe he will, but like, damn, if I could paraphrase this better, if like, I wish you could have seen like her face and like the kind of horror and terror and depression that she had about the situation that we're in. Like it was palpable. It really, she was genuinely afraid, about like the way the country's going, And I try to just, sort of reassure her a little bit, calm her down a bit. I mean, I probably know better than she does about how bad it actually is. I'm sure that I know better than her about that. But I think also that a lot of what happens has to do with like sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, and how, and I know some people are rolling their eyes right now when they hear that, but how we think of things, and how we, if you think you're defeated, you're defeated. You see kind of what I'm saying? Like there's this, that's what is all this bullshit about anyway, but to destroy our spirits, to make us not want to fight, to terrorize us, to make us shut up and sit down. Am I right? I mean, this is right. Yeah. So like, this is what's really going on, and yeah, I think you guys get the gist of this here. Um, I'm using my guitar skills to draw a guitar. I tell you, I knew there was a reason why I paid for those lessons. Actually, I never took guitar lessons. I only took bass lessons. And honestly, I wasn't the best student either. I was kind of lazy at 14 years old. I scraped by. I got through, but like, I was more of a play by ear guy, and I would just turn on a record and listen, and kind of find the notes, and then just figure it out. Like reading music to me, chart music or whatever. It's like, I want to be a rock star. I don't want to read fucking chart music. Hey, a little snot. I'm all over the place as usual. So, what do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, she's seen thing. Let's get back. Let's get back. Damn, you guys are just off and running without me here. Address matters that are within your reach. Micro to macro demoralization is what the anti-whites seek to install. You nailed it. I can't sign into Twitter X. Is anyone else having this problem? Ugh. I was just on it not long ago, but there was some weird funky, like it didn't come on at first and then it came on later. So I think they might be updating it or something. United still not working from the use any ad blockers. She's seen things. Oh, another commercial. I'm gonna have to just turn the sound off and let that pass. And then I'll say, if you are mentally defeated, then yes, you are physically defeated. As that I just mentioned that. United, I don't know what is. I'll try to figure it out. Okay. And there you go. So more commercials. And back to the music, folks. Good. Yeah. So another week, and then there's some really, really great house parties that I can't wait to get to. Dance with the ladies and stuff. Oh man, I'm having a big back and forth with this one girl that I got a big crush on, and I'm trying to be aloof. I'm like trying to be aloof about it. I'm mostly for just myself, just like. But I don't know, sometimes when you're kind of crazy about a girl, it gets under your skin, gets on your mind. But for me, I look at it like it's just more or less a lot of fun. Like if it happens, it doesn't happen. It's just a fun. It's kind of like the hunt, I guess. The thrill of the hunt. Is that good? That probably isn't good, but anyway, yeah. I don't know. I guess I feel like if you're super attached to outcomes, then it's kind of demoralizing. You get desperate and shit, and you don't want to do that. It's losing your cool, so you don't do that. What else can I do with this image here? Oh, I know. Donald the Master. What is this? Oh, REM Theory is here. Sweet. REM. racial esoteric moralization. That is so cool. I'm so glad you joined us, man. Let me back out a little bit. I'll give you a taste of some of the artwork for this project. It's good times. So, man, oh, man, oh. There's a lot of shit going down here, my man. Let's talk about it. We're going deep. This is an older page from earlier in the story, or what's wrong with me? It's late. Yes, this is great stuff. So this robot here, I have to sort of like put him on this page in this panel. Yeah, I know that pencils are hard to see, but for consistency's sake, I usually will copy, say, like, if it's a certain face, I'll copy it onto another panel in another page to just help like keep the consistency of the characters. That's one of the things about doing comics that people don't really understand. But you have to draw the same person from every angle over and over and over and over and over, and like that's fucking hard, man. You gotta know your shit. So for me, it boils down to kind of like little tricks of in the sense of like, okay, this guy's nose has a little funky angle, or maybe his eyes are sort of droopy, or there's some like I just try to make little things that'll make it exciting and shit. So I really love that face right there. I think that's just a damn good face right there. You know, it's good shit. And then like, what comic artist doesn't love nerding out on like high tech robots that blow the shit out of tanks, and like how can you not love that? You know what I'm talking about? So like, and not only that, this style of robot is I forget what it's called, a Talos or Talios. It's kind of a, it was in a Sinbad movie. It's like a bronze statue. I'm blowing it right now. I'm sorry, but anyway, cool shit going down all around. Just giving you guys a little sneak peek at a few parts of the story. This is a more recent page that I did that I feel is pretty nice. Good use of dramatic light. This kind of smoke is, so this rock just fell down and it's sort of like clouds of dust coming up. Dancing Shiva. Oh, nice. And so then it opens up and this guy comes out and so, but I like the use of the smoke as a dramatic effect. But anyway, yeah, so this is what's going down. I'm gonna have to get my bass guitar out and start slapping on it. um Let's see. REM says it's fantastic art. Reminds me of the old comics. Now that you said that, it's pretty funny because my fans have been asking me in each show to take a break at some point and pull out some old comics from my collection. The other day we did Conan, but like I have these are giant size comics. Like you can see the scale of my hand to the comic. It's like and they're classics. Actually, this is freaking famous. This one's a pretty famous one. The art in this is exquisite. It's like I'm really influenced by this old style art. To me, I mean, I like any good art. It doesn't matter, but like there's just something about the old days and the old ways that I find really rich and beautiful. Um, So yeah, that's. I mean, we might get into some of that, in a bit. I've got like creepy, eerie, heavy metal. Um, just some fun stuff here. Um, so yeah, there you go, bro. There you go, and now you know. Oh man, I should just go out and go dancing. Fuck it. Just walking to work, super drunk and hungover, and all right, I'm here, I'm on time, and then just smile in my misery, thinking, man, I had such a great night last night. Next weekend, I'll tell you, I actually, I shouldn't tell you guys this shit. Like, occasionally I will lie and say like, oh, I can't make it into work until X 12 noon or something, only because I gotta fucking go dancing, man. I can't let the ladies be alone, You can't leave the ladies alone. You gotta give them someone to dance with. That'd be mean. Uh, so fun times. So this section of the story is sort of a flashback of this character. Our main character knows him, and I fought side by side with him. So when he meets him, he's like, "Oh my God, it's you, yay!" So good to see you, and like, we're gonna fight the bad guys together and clean up shop and da 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 da. But he gets a big surprise. This is not who he thinks it is. Um. So you got okay. Let me read a little bit, and then I'll get back to work here. A lot of stuff going on in this chat here. Why is the old man killing groypers? I didn't write the story. You're gonna get there when you get there. The guy with the cannons on his shoulders reminds me of the Revenant from Doom Eternal. Whoa. The original Clash of the Titans movie was pretty good as well. I think that's what I'm referring to, and that like it was like a big metal or bronze sculpture that protected this island and came to life and blah blah blah. Classic. I actually just watched that on Tubi not long ago. You have a lot of stuff from the 70s, and a lot of my comics that I have are from the 80s and 90s. I have some stuff from the 70s, not much. I've got them from. Well, I'll maybe get into that stuff in a minute. Rem says you got to move full on the babes, big time. Too many whites are beta on the dance floor, dude. I am about. You know what? One thing I don't like is when people get braggadocious, but I'm about to get braggadocious on you. Okay, so like, I'm a laid back guy. I don't give people any kind of shit or anything like that. But I'm a fucking great dancer, and I'm such a good dancer that black guys are intimidated by me. Like, I'll be out there kicking it and just destroying it, and then I'll look over to the sidelines, and you see the black dudes, like moping and kind of just like staring at me, like watching really good. Because like dancing is a big deal to them. Like that's a big part of their culture. Being good at dancing is a big, big part of their culture, and they don't want to go out on the dance floor and get like stood up by a white guy. That's not cool. But like I don't. I'm not rude to those dudes or whatever. I just mind my business and have my fun. Um, I think the nature of house music is like let it go, like just let your hair down, kind of. It's not in my view, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Like if you went to like Miami or some city where people are kind of known to be pretentious, like it's a very very chill culture. People are just all kind of there to like let loose and have fun and relax. Granted, I don't indulge in like the drug culture of it or whatever, but um overall, like there's never any fights. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to a hip hop show, you better be, which I never do because I hate hip hop. But I'm just sort of saying, like, it's not the culture. It's a good culture, which is why I like it. Um, it's a fun culture. So there you go. Now you know. Um, so what else is going down here? This is some weird shit going down in this thing. That's the thing about this story is it's like very, very imaginative, to say the least. That's why I was saying like the other day, like even though it's very different from say like you know something like The Boys on Netflix, it's just as complex and just as you know it's a different message. Obviously, I would never do anything degenerate. Um, but I feel like if people like The Boys, they'd like this too. And I'm just saying, like comic fans that want something that there's it's not two dimensional. Like it gives you something to think about. It's witty. It's there's layers. There's this you know meat on the bone. So anyway, 70s stuff. I when I go to Comic Cons, I hold on. This is a little too loud. It's my show, not your show. So like when I go to Comic Cons, I look for what I consider like rare stuff. And I don't know that like the 70s stuff is that rare, but I guess I think of it as that, that like there's only so many copies of things in existence, and a lot of times they're you're lucky if you can find it in good shape and that kind of thing. But it's really all about the art. It's totally about the art. Like to me, there was something about that era. um I think the 80s, in my opinion, was like a not a good era for comics. I remember talking to Graham Nolan once about it, and I was a little shocked at what he said. He was like, "Oh, in the 80s, if you could hold a pencil, Marvel would hire you." I was like, "Ugh," that was a little, whoa, that was a bit strong thing to say there. Um, um, but whatever. I don't mean that. I mean, he's a professional, so I would trust that he knows what he's talking about. But I guess I wasn't really into comics in the 90s. I came back into it. When did I come back into the comics? So, like, my story is that as a kid, I collected, and I wanted to be a comic book artist. It was like my life's goal, and then I hit like 14 years old, and I thought, like, girls aren't gonna like a guy that is into comics. Like, I want to become a rock star. Now that's what girls like. And so I learned how to play guitar and all that. That's a whole other story right there. But um suffice to say, I kind of like abandoned it, which I regret, because like I remember the day I told my brother, like, yeah, I'm growing out of this or something. I'm like, I'm moving on or some stupid ass thing, and like, you can have my comic book collection. His face almost fell off. He was like, I can't, like, "Whoa." And years later, when I started getting back into comics and actually freelancing in comics and stuff, I was like, I'd really like my comic book collection back. And he's like, nope. What an asshole move. I love my brother, but that was an asshole move right there. So ever since then, I've been trying to recollect my collection from when I was young that I lost. Um, brothers, you know how it goes. Um, I got so many stories here. Let's see, Talos. Yeah, that was the one. Wow, was some fun convos going on here. You gotta move full on the babes. Yes, I think you might be thinking about Jason the Argonauts. Yes, yes. Noise. Yeah, Jason Argonauts, Talos series, and the creepy skeletons. Oh yeah, dude, the skeleton fight with the swords, epic. Netflix presented Helen Keller, played by Exhibit. These Conan comics in the 80s and 90s were still pretty good. No, that I strongly agree with. That was a golden age. Conan Saga was pretty much just reprints from the 70s. Da, da. Speaking of which, I think I go over this last time. I think I did. Oh yeah, I did a bit. Yeah, it's in color. Yeah, and I mean this is rare to have a Conan comic in color. Every once in a while you get like a booby shot. Um, but yeah, I actually went over this a bit in the last show. It's just we got a lot of Conan fans in my I don't know, my fan base, my crew, my buds, my band, you know. But yeah, I really would appreciate it if you guys could like share these shows. I don't know that this is for everybody. Like sitting around listening to my bullshit, but it's a pretty fun show. The thing I was going to say about 70s comics is that every not every, but like I think the generation was still influenced by their elders, so to speak. Like they were training under you know illustrators in the business that trained under other illustrators in the business, and so there was a continuity of craft, and this is a really really big deal because this is the American what I don't know, not genre, medium of comics. And comics, so like I could pull out some classic Hal Foster, or like any of these old dudes that were like the kings of illustration. They were illustrators, but they just happened to work in comics. You know what I'm saying? And John Buscema's Conan is a very 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 good example of that, in terms of the he's got like a very strong NC Wyeth kind of vibe going on with his work. It's very heroic, and it's an important part of our culture. And it really flows beautifully with the kind of white ethno nationalist culture. Because it's us, it's our history, coming down. Yeah, I know. Of course, there were a lot of Jews in comics and what have you, but you know, they learned from our guys though, and then went on and on and on. So, and they weren't all Jews. Al Williamson, and oh God, you know, various artists, as they would say. But kind of one of the best things I love about Roy Thomas and Conan is that Roy Thomas is not a Jew. I mean, like a Jew writing Conan. Can you imagine how demoralized that would be? You're like okay, Conan's getting in touch with his feminine side now. Like that kind of shit. Um, anyway, you guys know what I mean. Yeah, what do you guys think of Nick Fuentes? Where are you on that? The Fuentes question. Getting a little political here. Since you brought up the groypers, like these frogs or whatever, I thought that could maybe be an interesting chat. I've covered it a bit in a lot of past shows, but it's always kind of fun to hear people's thoughts on that stuff. Not like I want to, spend the whole show talking about that. So one of the things about like, I kind of came back into comics after I came back from, excuse me. Oh shit! I need some water now. Fuck! I do this every time. Fuck! Where's my water? I gotta get water, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna die without it. I'll be back. Sorry for the delay. Oi! So I'm gonna read Didymus. Welcome back. Fuentes impressed me until he snaked Roy Moore on December 13th. I don't think much of him really. It's not really in our scene. He's just someone that is adjacent to our scene. I like to focus on people that are actually in our scene. Mr. Kind says I could imagine Conan written by tribesmen. Conan would no longer sever heads, but instead crushes spirits with usurious interest rates, while advocating for mass importation of Africans against foes. Oh, God. Wow, that's trippy. That's a wild idea. Mercedes Angulo, genial. Welcome, Mercedes. Welcome to the crew. Just doing some comic book art and some chit chat. Moving right along here. So, get back into the scene here. So, a quick look at some other pages, some previous artwork. So, you guys get a taste and a flavor for what's going on in the story, what it looks like in general. This is a pretty cool page right here. It's in the prologue. I really like this panel down here. It's the Donaldo Kent show, yeah. Anyway, so I'll check the chat here and there, but I feel like I'm kind of chatting too much. I should be drawing more, and I enjoy the chat though. I just got a job to do here. You know what? I gotta get a ruler. I always pick up the one that I don't want. Okay. gotta. Sometimes if things are off a little, I've got to like pencil it again to like make it work. Of course, pencil is shit. I think that ought to do. There we go. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching Patriot Front in New York City. It just feels so good to see those guys out there doing what they do. And I mean, I don't. It's a lot of it. It's just simply representation. Like they're not. I mean, I know they do some sort of community activism kind of stuff. Helping people with this or that. But just to give a voice to us, and let the enemy cope and seethe. You know, it's wild because it's like we are so. Oh God, what's the word? Like we're so ghettoized, in the media that like when we get any kind of representation, then like people flip out. They flip out. And it's I don't know. I enjoy that. I guess I'm a bad person. I'm sorry. All right, I repent. I repent. Don't hate me. Anyway, um, I forget the guy's name. Who's the leader of Patriot Front with the cowboy hat? Um, who it's his name slips my mind. I just was watching him on Twitter, but there was some girl that was interviewing him. Um, she posted quite a lot of video on Twitter. It's like freedomsomething.org. It's one of these news sites, I guess. And she's writing like, white supremacist group, the Proud Boys, march in New York City, and which you know what that means. Like what her stance is if she's saying things like that. And then I'm saying like, anyway, they're asking him like, people call you racist, and so he had some very intelligent answers for that. Um, which was nice to see kind of how he just sort of walks circles around that kind of bullshit. Um, although on the same token, like there was a great post, and this is actually an old post, but it was somebody like brought it back or whatever, and the post there was somebody on Twitter who said something to the effect of like a lot of whites who died from racial crime would be alive today if they were racist. And that just like, whoa, like that just like, fuck, like that just shakes you right up. Like, holy shit, like that's fucking powerful. That's very powerful. Um, anyway, this music's getting a little ghetto for me here. I think I'll have to fast forward it. Or maybe I'll find something better without commercials, would be nice. All right, we're gonna try some lo-fi. This lo-fi channel generally is good. Like it's not commercial breaks every 10 seconds. Um, so you guys are really shaking it up in the chat there. I watched the debate you mentioned with Adam King. I would say I was a little standoffish before, but that was brilliant. He didn't argue the Talmud or the war on Gaza. He let Adam run his mouth. Right, right. Yeah, let him just, walk into a wall. Didymus says, Front is impressed. Oh, we already did that. Thanks. Lecture focus. Da-da-da. Time news, complete single page. Impressed me. Oh, yeah. Donald Kent, you may like the song Nightfall by Phila Brasilia. Phila Brasilia. I suppose we could look it up. Let me see here. The things I'm gonna have to do that later because right now I'm trying to focus on my comic book art. I got all kind of work to do, and I got no time to delay. It's just not right. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid if you don't do the work. That ain't right. I got places to go and people to see. I'll get this work done first, though. You know what I'm talking about? What is my real accent? Nobody knows. Am I from England or Alabama? I keep them guessing. So, what is new? Yeah, I was just gonna try to focus on this here for a bit. So this is a little more on the mellower side with the music. Uh, if it gets like too sad and I can't see through my tears, then I'm gonna have to. Then I'm gonna have to stop. I might have to blow my nose or something, and like, because the music is really sad. I did think it would be cool for me to work with somebody who like does techno music and write lo-fi songs. Imagine white positive lo-fi. That's cool. I think that's a cool concept. Um there's nothing like that. Like on my channel, there's my song Someday Is Today, which is my most popular song, even though like I just co-wrote it, and there's another guy that did the music, George George Freud. Yeah. So anyway, what am I saying? So like, but it's like a techno pop song. It's like my songs are more like alt rock, alternative rock kind of flavor. Um, but I like the idea of doing, you know, music in different genres. I think that's pretty cool. But this is kind of low energy, though. I didn't want to go that low. Most people know instantly that I am from Texas. Is that right? Um, as long as you're not New York Yiddish. Oy vey. Oy vey. Shut it down. Yeah, so after I'm done doing my art, I work on my tunnel digging. I'm getting really far into my tunnel digging. No. Man, the tunnel memes that are coming out, like the AI memes and shit, hysterical. Oh my god, they just keep coming. Oh, what's his name? Gavin McGinnis is like he's getting trolled under the like they're just burying him. They're trolling him so hard that he's like, I'm taking time off. And they're like, I'm taking time off. What the fuck? Like, what happened to you? Like you used to troll the shit out of people, and now that you're wrong, I mean, you just have to fucking admit you're wrong, dude. I discovered that is the hardest thing for people to do. That's the hardest thing. Like everything about, say, like my family and friends that like abandoned me, it all boils down to them just essentially not being able to say that they were wrong. And be like, the data shows, the data proves, da da da, whatever the thing is, crime statistics or what have you, all that stuff. So it's this weird game of like, let's all agree, don't anybody disagree. Let's all play this little game together. And then if we all agree together, then none of us are wrong. Yeah. Oh, jeez, it's insufferable. It's just insufferable. Um, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of patience with like cowards. I should though. I should learn to love them and forgive them. Due to your cowardly bullshit, the world is going to fucking hell. That's like when Patriot Front comes out and does some fucking representation, which isn't even radical. All they're doing is fucking walking down the street and doing speeches. Like, I mean, you know, just to fucking say, we're white, this is our country, we're taking it back, or whatever. Like we want our government, XYZ, PDQ, whatever our messages. Like just to say that, it's like meltdown time. It's fucked up. Fucked up. Fucking it up, but it. I don't know if anyone would catch that movie reference I just said, but Through a Scanner Darkly. Anybody see that movie? Um, uh, Robert Downey Jr., Keanu Reeves, Woody Harrelson, I think his name is. It's a great film. Go see it. But yeah, I couldn't not draw like this if I tried. I'm like chronically stuck in the 70s or something with my art. Which is interesting. There's actually an interesting story about that. It's hard to believe, but actually I was gonna do a Conan project with Roy Thomas some years ago. I don't know. I don't know how we got. Oh, I think I knew some inkers from the comic book industry. I was learning how to ink and stuff, and one guy knows another and another, and this is actually before like the movies and everything was really becoming popular, and these people were a lot more approachable. I even emailed, I even got an email from Stan Lee at one point, but I think I'm done with this page actually mostly. Um, anyway, through the chain of command or whatever, I finally got to Roy Thomas. And he saw my work and he loves this 70s style. He's like, "Oh my god, this is so cool. Like nobody's doing this anymore." And then he's like, "Look, I got a project that you would be perfect for. It's a Conan story, but we have to." I've told this story like several times. I don't know. I'm sure you guys. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but like we've got to clear it with the Robert E. Howard estate. And so here's their number. You give them a call. You know, tell them you're working with me if they know me. Da 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 da. And like the lady from the estate, like chewed me out really bad. You know, she was just a cocky snob bitch. It was just a shit show. And I got back to Roy Thomas years later. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you call? Like, you're Roy Thomas. Like, why would you have me call? I'm nobody. And then after getting, like yelled at or whatever by this lady, I sort of, oh, okay, that's why you had me call. Okay, you didn't want to get. But still, it's just like, what the fuck, like he's Roy Thomas. Like, why not make more money from residuals from Conan? Why not, bring him back and do something neat? Like, what kind of fucking retard are you? And that's the whole problem with the world is it's run by fucking retards that have no vision and no fucking talent, and all the people with the talent and the vision are fucking scraping by while these shitheads run the fucking world. So I'm gonna peace out now. Okay, I'm better. I'm back. And we're back. So yeah, little mad about that kind of shit, because imagine like that would have catapulted my career, good riddance, Gavin. Yeah, he just buried his own, dug his own grave, I should say. Now we need Alex Jones to go perma vacation. Those guys, it's so fucked up. Like, could you have ever imagined like how badly they would fail? Because these were like the big guys during the Trump era. And like I liked them back then. I didn't. Uh, um, it says a lot, though, doesn't it? It says so much about the JQ. It says so much about the JQ. It is the fucking fulcrum of truth. It is the fulcrum of truth. If you can't name them, you're not, you're, you know, it's not like you're on their side or something, but you're, well, maybe you are, you're in controlled opposition or you're just brainwashed. You know what I mean? And it's really unfair to actually, you know, criticize people who are brainwashed because, like, you know, you guys know, like, how we got where we are, right? But again, it's like I just feel like it's inevitable because, like, when that whole generation is gone, like my son's generation, that they don't have they're not beholden to this at all. Like they don't feel any obligation to uphold like the Holocaust myth and all these other narratives. I mean, part of it is actually bad in the sense that nobody seems to fucking know any history. you know, like who's the current president? Thomas Jefferson. Like that kind of shit. But I don't know. It's so easy to complain. Sitting in my high chair over here. Those damn kids. Get off my lawn. A little Gavin McInnes reference there for you. But I'm sad to see that in a way. I mean, I don't know. It's just like a certain nostalgia for that time. It was fun while it lasted. Now, what do we have to look forward to? Civil War, Disease X. I don't know. I'm going to start getting black pilled here. I'll shut up. That's actually not how I'm looking at things. I don't know. I just painted myself into a corner here. I actually have a fairly positive view of the future, believe it or not. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've let go of, or I'm in the process of let going of, I don't know, attachments, illusions, mental matrices of my own making. Um, and I think some people could take this negatively, but I feel that when you let go of everything, that's really when you're free. And I mean, everything means everything, you know. But when I say free, I guess I mean free from the suffering that those attachments cause. It's not like some nutcake who's like a suicidal, not that kind of letting go. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. All right, I gotta check the chat. I gotta see what you guys are talking about here. Goodman's data is irrelevant to those that are adherents of the religion of anti-whiteism and the anti-white narrative. Absolutely true. Doesn't Dave Martell also have a story about dealing with these people too? I'm friends with Dave. I've done a lot of work with him, and I'm sure he's got a billion stories about that. I'm pretty close to Dave. Um, you know, you with all your friends, there's times where you're like in touch a lot, and then you both get caught up in the things you're doing, and you sort of fall out of touch a bit, but you're still on each other's radar. You know, so like I'm doing my thing now. I got a lot on my plate, which is good. And I'm a big supporter. I really hope him to be successful, you know, with his ventures. I know he would like to do a comic book company, and you know we've talked about that. Everything of that nature takes investment, but more so, if you're gonna have a comic book company, you've got to have talent, and there's not a ton of people in our sphere that do comics. You know, obviously me, but there's good illustrators, but comics is really, I'll put it this way, like just because you can play violin doesn't mean you can write a concerto, you know, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Gosh, I'm really impressed with myself. That was a great analogy. Holy shit, I better pat myself in the back. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's like such a refreshing feeling when all the panels are laid out nicely, and it's like now you're ready to start. It feels good. Um, I remember him saying that he was told that Conan was a feminist by the people that own. That's, I mean, he may have been told that, but obviously that's horseshit. You know, you cannot get more masculine than Conan. You know, I mean, this is what look at what DC or don't look at what DC and Marvel are doing. Like they're turning all their character. They you know, like they killed off the Punisher. You know, everybody is turning gay. There's like new. It's like a gynocentric universe now, and I literally mean that. Just the way that like you know how every time you turn around you see some news story about like we're only hiring blacks or you're the first black pilots and this or that and the other thing like are they all women staff of X you know and it's very literally about replacement you know just very openly you know um which makes me sick. That's a whole other topic. What we need is legal representation. We need to become a recognized legal racial demographic, the way blacks are, the way Hispanics are, the way Native Americans are. We have to fit into the legal structure of our laws. I mean, our laws, but you understand what I'm trying to say. It's just It is what it is. This music's too sad. I gotta change this shit again. How much time do I waste on my shows finding music? Um, Usually this channel is pretty good, but it's so sad now. Come on, give me some fucking fash wave. How about maybe some deep house? We'll see if we can get some deep house. Might pick up the mood. I don't care what you do or not do, you goofball. All right, I don't need commercials during my space, my time. All right, let's hook it up. Let's get some fun house music here. I know, right? Yeah, I will not fly airlines now, dude. I literally won't fly anymore. Like I'm done. I mean, it's not just the pilots; it's the other people that you're stuck on a plane, and then like you have no idea what kind of fucking whack jobs are on the plane and what kind of horse shit. Is Mercedes still here? I'd like to know if you're still here, Mercedes. Um. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work here. This is an easy page when you have like these dialogue pages where it's just people talking. It's just fun because you just get into doing like anatomy. So I'll zoom in a bit. And that should be more enjoyable for you guys. Yes. Start your engines. All right. Oops. Keep that centered. So it's so good to be back on this project. We got the letter, or not the letterist, the colorist back on board, and he's going to be doing some work soon. Pumping out the pages. I have to find a way to show you the colored pages, but I can't do it when I'm like using my phone. Maybe I can, but I don't know how. So like I use StreamYard when I stream normally when I'm doing like real shows. This is not a real show. When I have guests on and I'm showing media and whatnot. And then you have like a share screen option. And that's easy enough to, show you some media. But it's good stuff. This particular colorist, the way that he colors, I think, suits my art style for this project. Like I could do a whole comic book with watercolor and or acrylic or or do or like a digital painted or I can do other things. This isn't the only style that I do or whatever. But when I do comics, it has this very 70s kind of style. So which is obviously meant to be fun. Anyway, what I'm saying here is that the color on this project is it pops, it bangs, it's like really flavorful, I guess is a good way to put it. So it's like eye candy essentially. So it's just going to be really really stimulating to people when they finally see when they get the book in their hands and they got this like crazy story with like all kinds of references to things, a lot of things that like it's sort of like you can't do that in a comic, like you can't say that in a comic or something like that. Loads and loads of Easter eggs for us, our guys. Anybody who's like paying attention, you know what I'm saying? Um, so it's gonna be enjoyable. And the pace is really like, very good. The pace is like such a huge part of narrative that people have to consider, like you might have like a Batman story where, there's like he's imagining what the victims went through and he's brooding in the dark, rainy alley over this, something that happened and he's pontificating on, why, what would make a criminal do such a thing, something. And like that's a different type of thing, whereas I feel like this just moves along at a good clip. I'll put it that way. Somebody's asking me something here. Oh yeah, I talked about data. Um, I like the comics done in watercolor myself. Some of Milo Manara's stuff I really like. Big fan of his style. I feel like I should know that name, and I'm embarrassed that it's not ringing a bell right now. But there's a couple guys out there that do work like that. This guy named Dave Dorman. He worked for heavy metal. Um, um, my brain isn't really working right now, but there's a bunch of guys out there that do that. I think watercolor really, really, really. I don't know how to say it. It just has like brings a very strong fine art quality to comics. You know what I mean? I like the nature of the brush. I like the fluidity of it. For me, it's very kung fu. So I kind of like since it's winter, I I'm not like sparring as much as I used to because we used to do it. We do it outdoors. and we couldn't find a space that I liked. There's the one space the guy has. He's got a membership at this Jewish community center, and I'm like, I don't like it there. It gives me the creeps, so I won't go there. Um, but another one of our sparring buddies, he is a like a college student, and sort of trying to hook us up with like the gym at his college. But that I don't know. He's a law student, so like he's over his head in fucking homework and shit. And so it just hasn't panned out. Um. So anyway, I'm just you know, to me, I feel like working out. I don't want to just like lifting weights or something is it's strength building, but it's not martial arts, you know. So I always feel like I want to do something that is useful in that regard, you know. So my working out consists of a lot of martial arts type stuff, forms and stuff, you know. But there's things that what we call kungs, which are essentially you do a certain move like repetitively to the point where it's like second nature, you know. And those are the things that you're generally going to use a lot when you're sparring or fighting, frankly. Um, but I'll do things that I know are going to like, tighten my waist up or like give me good flexibility in my shoulders. Things that relate to, I need to have, with long fists especially, you got to have like very, very good waist and shoulders. I don't really know like this. You have to be very flexible with these. And it's kind of bizarre, but how do I say this? Your, I don't know how to say this. Like, strength comes from relaxation and fluidity rather than from like how tight you can make your muscles. That actually is like the opposite of the way a lot of kung fu works. And I can't speak for other martial arts. Perhaps it's similar in many cases. I wish I could remember the forms I did for long fist. God, I would love to. Could you describe, like, in your words, how would you describe long fist? Like, what, as a martial style, how does it operate? Like, how do you generate power? What is the footwork like? What are the advantages of it, say, over other systems or styles or methods? I, you know, Other than the people I learned with in Taiwan, who were mostly Chinese, or Taiwanese. There was one German guy in that class who only spoke Chinese and German, and I'm like, I couldn't talk to him. At some point I went up to him to be like, "Hey, man, blah blah blah, whatever, you know." And he only spoke to me in Chinese, and at the time, he spoke fluent Chinese. I didn't. I could kind of clunk along with him a bit and this and that, but I just was like, he was trying to be cordial and shit, but I'm like, whatever. And it's like, and I understood that like he moved to Taiwan specifically to go to this martial arts school, to learn this style. I'm like, wow, holy shit, that's incredible. That's really something. Um, but let's see what you said here. Big swinging motions from the shoulders. I just was talking about shoulders with the chest and the arms extended with long straight punches and some tight uppercuts. Yeah, those long fist uppercuts will pop your head right off. Dynamis says the kicking style we did was probably more influenced by kickboxers than traditional stuff, though. Yeah, a lot of teachers. I don't know if your teacher was Chinese or American or what, but they tend to mix stuff together. It's just a thing, I guess. I don't know if they think it's more marketable or something, or maybe that's how they learned or what they learned. I don't know. Now I want to dance. It's just it's hitting hard right there. Okay, so this guy's got a weird scar on his chest. It's a The scar is a rune, but I'd have to ask the writer what that rune means. Or look it up. So it just kind of indicated with anyway, I just indicated with like these sort of dots. When the colorist gets to it, he'll make it like more pink or something, you know. I got real quiet all of a sudden. Oaf says we need a Apollonian germ to explain the rune, and he happens to look like the guy in the comic. Oh my god, that's hysterical, dude. Bro is in the zone. Yes, my man, in the zone. Um, you know what? I like Apollonian germ. I discovered him years ago. I'm into philosophy, and I really like his channel. I like him. I like his content. But he dissed the White Art Collective really hard. And I don't know if you guys are aware of that. He did a show like just exclusively on bashing the White Art Collective and like how the idea of white art is a terrible idea and that it's not making art about our cause and our plight and our culture and everything is like in bad taste or some shit. And really, I believe what it boiled down to is that he didn't like some of the musicians and some of the content in the White Art Collective, which is a matter of taste. And it's fine to not like, I don't care for this or that, but to overtly attack the entire organization and the mission of what we're doing really was like, wow, really? Wow, really? You're like, shit, dude, you're really going there. Um, I kind of felt like it was one of those, like, there's something about our culture that I really hate, and it's this kind of Oh, trolling type behavior that we have. We can be really rough on each other. There's like I don't know if it's a masculine thing or if it's a maturity problem, because to me, I often think it's like a maturity problem, to be honest with you. But I don't know, and I'm not saying he's immature. He's very mature, But as when I see that in the movement, though, I tend to chalk that up as like, oh, this is like high school lunchroom, locker room mentality shit or something. Like, just be adult, like just debate things like adults. It's not fucking hard, Perhaps Cuck Art Collective would be more his style. Well, like I said, I like the guy. I like his content, and listening closely to his critique, I really felt like it was more of an aesthetic issue for him. I did reach out to him and I said, "Hey, I'm in the White Art Collective. I'll gladly come on your show or have you on my show." And I'm not confrontational. I'm not trying to fight with you or anything. I was. This is a serious conversation. This is an important conversation. Did he get back to me? No. So that's the end of that. But I'll always have a place in my heart for Apollonian Germ. I always thought the name Germ was a little weird, though. That's my own. Maybe it's an aesthetic thing. That's just not being funny. But no, he's. I think he's a pretty awesome dude. I mean, shit, and that beard, man. You get fucking massive points for that beard with me. I'm a beard guy. If you could see my ugly mug, you would see a very handsome beard. Beard man. That is my superpower. I'm in like grizzly bear mode right now. I'm in like winter what's the word, like cabin fever mode, where it's like I don't have a reason to shave or not shave but like trim, but because I'm only going to work. This can only be settled in the ring. Oh, that's that's fucking hysterical, dude. I mean, obviously I would never lay a hand on him or whatever. I'm not thinking like that, but like if we had like a battle, a philosophy battle or something, like who can say more intelligent, exciting things, you know. Oh gosh, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I don't know what to tell you anymore. Um, Beards and pants are distinguishers of men. Very interesting. Um, this gonna shaving is a waste of time. Yes. To not have facial hair is like wearing a dress. That's fucking hysterical, dude. Dude, you gotta post that on Twitter or something. As both facial hair and not wearing a dress is distinguished factors of appearances for men. Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Um, I love my beard. I don't know. I just like it's definitely a defining feature for me. Um, and I've got my spring beard and my winter beard. Yeah. Oh God, I'll tell you a funny story. Um, oh God, this might be a bit too much. Nah, not really. Okay, so I don't. This was, God. This was a good while ago. This is, fuck. I don't remember. I'm gonna say this is like 10 years ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I did one of these, like, went to a high school reunion type thing and kind of reconnected with a lot of people and had fun and this and that. And I was divorced, and you know and like a lot of the girls were kind of like trying to hook me up, trying to like find me my new love. And this one friend, she's like, "Oh, I know a perfect person for you," and this and that. And so we're she's taking me to some bar, and we're going to meet up with her friend, and her sister actually shows up. And her sister kind of has a crush on me. And it's weird because in my head I'm like, I'm waiting for this other woman to come, so I'm not thinking about the sister. I later come to find out that she's like, married with kids and stuff, so like that's out of the picture. But um so the sister, at some point when she sees me, I'm sitting at the bar or whatever, this and that, and just being funny and having fun and drinking and whatnot. And the sister just like reaches over and just starts stroking my beard, like aggressively, like, like really going at it. And I'm in public here. I'm at a bar. There's other people around, and I thought like once or twice, I'm like, okay, I get it. I have a nice beard. I get it. But she just kind of like, how like when you pet a dog and they get a, like kind of like their eyes kind of roll up in their head and they just get in that like zoned out mode or whatever. Like she was getting like that. And I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of rapey. you know? Beard rape, it's a thing. Beard rape. So I look back on it like it's funny. But find a woman who wants to. No, never mind. But the girl comes, and it's like, I saw, she's like, "Oh, remember that girl from high school?" And like, no. Well, I looked her up in the yearbook, and it's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure, I'll meet up with her. I'll see how it goes." And years later, sometimes people don't age that well. Ooh. And when she showed up, it was like, ouch. This is not like, immediately, like, oh shit, like this. I'm not attracted to this person. But she had been so like worked up to meeting me and this whole like, you know, hooking us up or whatever, like that thing, that you could tell she was like kind of overthinking it and all that, whatever, all that weird shit. And I had some other buddies at the bar. They were playing they were actually in the band that evening. Which is kind of part of the whole thing of like, you know, the high school friends, band, bar, meeting up, da da da. And so like I stepped out. At the time, I smoked, and I like social smoker, and I stepped out to have a cigarette with the band guys, my buddies, and we're just just talking and having a good time, having a beer, this and that. And it's like almost time for them to go on, and so whatever. And I come back in, and both the girl that was trying to hook me up with the other girl and the other girl, they see me come in, and they were like, "Where were you?" Like, "Where were you?" Like they barked at me, like yelling at me. And I was so shocked at this, like, what the fuck? Like, it's as if like we're already married and you're fucking trying to like browbeat me and henpeck me. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, well, it was over when I met you, and now it's like 10 times as over. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a fucking thing to do. Like, it would be a good scene in a movie. You know what I mean? Like, to see something like that, and like, what a way to fuck up. Like, oh yeah, I'm meeting up with this guy because, like, we knew each other in high school, and maybe, he's divorced, I'm divorced, maybe something could happen, and then I yell at him, like I own him, like, now I know why you're divorced. Okay, got it. Yeah. So sad. So sad how things don't work out. Anyway, reading here, the story is hilarious. Uninhibited drunk woman. Haha. Yeah, it was. It, I mean, and that was like the beginning of the story. It actually kind of is like, would kind of make like a funny movie or a scene in a movie or something if you think about it. Like the foibles of divorced man. Like, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, there's no happy ending though. So still out there, but I'm actually okay with being single, but I'm not really kind of in a hurry to get into like a fake relationship, like, you know. The thing is, I'm so busy that I'm like, fuck, if I were in a relationship, like, she would have to know what I do as Donald Kent and have to support it. You know what I mean? Because like there's a sizable time investment into this activism and art and culture. Not like every, I mean, not so much that I would ignore her or something like that, but I just wouldn't want to hide. I don't like having to hide and lie. It's like really, really takes a lot of effort for me to shut up and like keep from saying the things that I want to say to, like, you know, family and friends that are just fucking sheep. It's This is countless times I'm like, I want to post this thing. I'll post it and I'll be, now delete it, delete it. Like, no, just don't. Just it's never gonna work. It's not gonna work. They're just gonna get angry. Let's see. Didymus says it was more Jover than she even knew. Yes, more. Yes, they exposed their nature, and in doing so, they did you a favor. See, now that's an angle right there. Like I said, like this particular woman, she didn't age very well, and that was just the push. You know, when you're like on the fence, and you're like, okay, this maybe I'll give this a try, and then you're like, "Ugh," the like, I don't know what it is with women and like short hair, like especially like around my age. Like, to me, I feel like when women cut their hair, they're deliberately making themselves like masculine and ugly, and in with the intent to like offend men. They know men hate that. They know it, and to me, I feel like it's like a power play or something. They think it is. I mean, they're only uglifying themselves. They're not, not changing anything. You know, it's you know what I'm saying. So like when I see that, I'm like, automatic bitch. You know, and I was right. My God, go figure. But just the fucking audacity of it too. Like, think about that. Like, holy shit. I mean, fuck. Whatever. Anyway, it's just a story. And there you go. Oh, lordy, lordy. Um, Robert says being single is best for the times that we are in now. The world has gotten too fucked up to find a mate that will work out with the state of things today. It's an interesting topic. It actually is something I think about a good bit. Is just like what I call the crisis of loneliness. Um, there's so many divorced people. Uh, People in the younger generation are like, I'm just gonna travel, man. I'm just gonna live life and post pictures of myself on Instagram. Look at me, I'm so spiritual. And it's just a gigantic failure, you know. Everybody's scared. It's like the world is just wildly out of control, and people are. I guess it's Weimar conditions, as they say. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. My instinct is quite the opposite. It's like, no, we need to be getting even more, like close and like conservative and you know, but nobody seems to be vibing with how I'm vibing. So I gotta get some water here. Drying out. I'm actually Aquaman, and if I don't have water, then I'll die. Mm, mm. Now I can talk to fish again. Mm. I find cold water so refreshing. Like I try to stay hydrated. I remember, kids, stay hydrated for the end of the world. Um, so what else you got for me here? My friend married a Swedish girl. Oh, I'm jealous. Who got a big promotion at the bank, and she told him he could stop working. She's extremely frugal to get a Swede. Fuck, dude. I need a Swede now. Get me a Swedish woman now. Actually, I have a Swedish girl story. Oh boy. No, it's not. It doesn't have a happy ending. um, but it could have. Anyway, that's not worth telling. Oh, commercial time. Where the hell am I gonna get a Swedish girl, dude? I gotta go to Sweden, I guess. Are you in Sweden? Is that how you like? What's the angle here, guy? But Swedish girls are freaking gorgeous. Like wow, you know, like Pleiadians, you know. Yeah, I could totally vibe with in Sweden. I think the only thing would just be the like the snow and the cold. Like I would not like that. But I think that there's probably aspects of that lifestyle that would make it worth it for me. I've even thought about, I mean, just entertained the thought of like what would it be like to live in Iceland, you know? I have to say though, like they have a lot of volcanoes, a lot. And so with what's coming, and I mean, they already currently have a lot of earthquakes and volcanic activity, so it's actually pretty dangerous in that regard. Oops, I got that in the center for you. Robert says, I think the woman is the one that needs to stop working. Didymus says, I'm so vibing that I have a 2-week-old baby with me right now. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Holy heaven. That's fabulous, dude. Man, that dude, now you're gonna get me on like a dad vibe, you know, thinking about when my son was born and all that. It's like some of the most beautiful memories of my life, like just some of the happiest times of my life. Um, it's crazy. He had a very difficult birth. Um, I guess I could talk about it. I don't know that it's like, I guess I can talk about this. So it's quite an intense story, with me and my stories. Um, so I'll tell you another story. Okay, so it's a big deal. Your wife is gonna have her baby, and like every man, every human being at some point is like, wow, like that's the big moment of your life, when the baby comes, And my wife at the time, she had to have a cesarean. They had to induce. Had to induce her, I guess, is what they call it. And you go in, and it's a procedure, and you go in, and you know they do a spinal tap, which to me freaks me out. The idea that like they pierce your spinal cord and put like whatever drugs they put in there to knock out the lower half of your body. That's just fucking crazy to me that they do that. But anyway, they did that, and I'm in there with her, um, kind of like next to her while they're going through the procedure. They've got this kind of curtain up so that we can't see the actual surgery, which you can imagine. I don't want to see that. And we have a really good doctor, and he's doing his job, and I'm supporting her. I'm right next to her, and just we're going through this thing together. It's pretty serious, right? And when you do a procedure like this, you only have so much time to get the baby out. It's a time thing. I don't know if you guys know about this, but anyway, he's like jerking her around, and he's working and jerking, and he's really aggressive, and I'm like, fuck, man, is this normal? Like, are you supposed to be like so aggressive and pushing her around? And so much so that she like turned her head sideways and threw up because her guts were being kind of pushed around so much. And I'm like, I'm trying to be like the good husband, and like, okay, honey, da, 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 what do you even say in these things, in these times? And now I'm starting to notice that she is getting very pale. She's getting very white, and kind of dizzy, and like not, she didn't faint, but you could tell she was not all there, kind of. Now and then suddenly a bell goes off, like a shrieking bell, like these kind of like emergency bells. And now I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is going on? Oh shit, what's going on? And they're still in there, and they're jerking her around, and they're working and jerking, and this alarm's going off, and they're talking to each other, and doctor talk, and blah 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 blah. And I'm realizing like something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. So it's getting fucking terrifying. Okay, I'm just telling you, it's getting fucking terrifying. And finally they pull the baby out, and he is completely like, I don't know even how to, like, lifeless, like no move, like just like he had like normal color and everything, but he wasn't moving normally. Like he had absolutely no movement at all. It just kind of just flaccid, it's like a dead fish kind of thing. And that wasn't good to see. But then they put him down on a cold steel table to like weigh him, and the feeling of going from like the warm amniotic fluid to a hard cold steel table under a bright white light made him like scream, like, and that was actually a good thing to hear. I was like, oh god, he's okay, he's alive. That's like what you want to hear. And so like the doctor says, you can come over now and see the baby. And I'm walking over, and I'm like, okay, I'm not looking behind the curtain. I do not want to fucking see her guts. I don't, this is really, I'm not that guy. I don't want to see that. But as I'm walking over, I see the corner uh of the room, and there's a stack of bloody towels that are like 2 feet 3 feet high. I mean, I don't remember how high they were, but like it was h- tons of bloody towels that they were like soaking the blood up, and they'd toss it aside, soak the blood up, toss it aside. And I leaned over to my son because I'm then there's this whole emotion of like, oh my god, it's my son. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's my son. And he's screaming, ah, like what the, and I lean right into him and I say, hello, and I say his name, welcome to the world. And as soon as he heard my voice, like he immediately stopped crying and turned his head towards me. His eyes were still closed, but like it calmed him right down, right down. Like, oh, daddy's here. And like, they stitched up my wife and got her to the room and this and that, and whatever the processes are. And then they later told us that the baby, during like the night before the cesarean, the baby was flipping over. You know how they have to have the head down when they come out? Well, like its head wasn't down. And like the night before, it went like halfway. So it was like vertical, or not vertical, yeah, horizontal. And so the doctor couldn't get it out. It was like, there's a way to do this. And like, if you, I don't know, there's a way to do it that you can't injure the mother's internal organs. And the doctor was just like explaining to us that like I would have to break your baby's shoulders to like get him out. And we were horrified, like, holy fuck, I didn't know it was like that bad. This is a pretty terrifying experience, knowing later like what actually happened. So that was a hell of a ride, hell of a way to come into the world. Um, but yeah, here he is, kicking ass, just like his old man, the light of my life. Oh, being a dad's the greatest thing in the world. Love it. Oh, sorry, that's out of. All right, so let's read. I'm still vibing. Yeah, being there when your children are born is quite an experience, no doubt. That's terrifying. God, it was. Oh, dude, I remember sleeping on a chair for the whole time that my wife and son were in the hospital. I was sleeping on the floor and stuff. But yeah, it was a rough start. It was a rough start, but all's well that ends well, I guess. Quite the Donald Kent story hour here today. Um, it's funny. My son. My son's playing video games with his friends, and I can hear him laughing upstairs. And it's just like it's so nice. It's such a heartwarming sound to know he's happy. You know what I mean? It's like all that you want. All that you want in this world is that your son is safe and happy. Hmm. My dad always used to say that like the worst thing to happen to a parent is to have to bury their own child. And there was a time in high school when my dad, after he had his heart attack, the doctor told us like he's gonna die. And so I was 14, and I'm like, I lost my mind. I lost my mind. I completely plunged into a very profound depression, and I was scared out of my mind. How to go through life. With after him dying, and it was awful. And I was thinking about suicide. Like I can't do this. I'm 14 years old. I don't, I just didn't have the wherewithal to cope with this at the time. And, I went into counseling and stuff like that. And, my dad and my mom were obviously very, very concerned, And that's when he said to me, Don, like, the worst thing for a parent is to bury their own child. And, like, please don't make me do that. Can you imagine your father telling you that? You know how that feels? It's just another page in my life. Hmm. Let's see. I was reading one day about a prime minister of France who lost four sons in World War One. Oh my lord. That's not like. Well, I mean, I guess it sort of kind of reminds me of Saving Private Ryan and that whole. I don't know if that's a true story or what, but like, you know, all the I guess like five brothers died in World War Two, and they had to go find the last son and send him home because like it was too much for one family to lose all of their sons in the war. Um, you know, those wars were fucked. Like they're just white people killing white people. Like what's there to celebrate there? I mean, we're doing the Jews' job for them. They're celebrating while our people are dying. It's like when I think of Ukraine. That's all I can think of. It's just more white people killing white people. Horrible. Oh, come on. I don't know how I fucking do this. I have so much equipment around me that like when I set something down, I look back and I'm like, it's gone, but it's like merged in with like 10,000 other tools, and I get frustrated that I'm either losing my materials or I'm losing my mind. Anyway, commercials. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, I can go from like fun and lighthearted to like serious and depressing in like 0 to 60. No more brother wars. Yes, God bless them. All right, I'll read the chat for a second here. My dad died in a hospital. Watching someone die in a hospital is one of the worst ways to watch them die. My mom died at home, but it was all of a sudden almost. Oh man, you've been through some hell. Um, I was reading one day. It's hard to like read that and then just like blah 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 and move on. That's one of the most profound experiences of a life, and I was there. I had to sign the paper to take my mom off the ventilator. And I don't want to go down that road. I don't. It's just too dark. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But I just want to say, I send you my love and my prayers because that is one of the most. It is probably the most devastating thing to ever have to see and do. Um, let's see. Her health was declining, but I really didn't think she was that bad off to die. I really thought able to that would be able to nurse her back to health like it did the last couple of times. Yeah, that's exactly the case with my mom. As I genuinely thought she was going to get better, that she was going to bounce back from this. Well, like I said, it's a very painful topic, so I don't really want to get too deep into that. Um, Not really the note I want to leave on with this show either, but oops. Okay. Oh, come on. Let's go. Come on, play. Okay. Um, what else is going on? But yeah, the whole relationship thing, it's weird. Like even just men and women talking about each other is like very volatile. Like I know some women that are like that say that like men are really uh there's like a lot of misogyny in the movement, is what they say. I obviously am not the guy like talking like that, so and I'm not around it. I'm not a woman, so I don't see it. So for me, I'm kind of like, yeah, I know it exists, but like I don't think the whole movement is like that. And but I know like a good number of women who do feel that way in the movement. And that's extremely upsetting to me. That's very like that to me goes back to that topic of like this sort of like cruelty or maturity issues that we have. Like, I don't know, is it an internet culture thing where it's like, you just troll anybody online? Or, like, what the fuck is it? And I just don't, it just doesn't belong, you know? I don't know. We shouldn't be treating each other like that in this movement. Um, it's just me, I'm like, I feel like we should have some protocols of behavior, like if you're in this movement, you should behave like you're in one. I think you understand what I'm saying here. Let's see if he's that hand. This is this hand. Okay. So, let's see what we're reading here. Um, also have to get some stuff she has in storage and out there before the end of the month. Yeah, it's 19 seconds. There's just a lot of misogyny online because relationships between the sexes are generally bad right now. Later on, if you want to laugh. A Polonian term is transforming. I missed the thing. Western kind. You're trying to talk about something, and I'm missing. No more brother wars. I just sort of missed the. Seems like you're trying to tell me something, and I don't know what the point is, but yeah. So yeah, it's bad. This thing going on right now. Yeah, I guess there's a side of me that's like, okay, well, how much of that is social engineering from our enemies that we can identify? Because like if we can do that, then we can kind of control something of it. We can say, listen, we know that these attitudes, something something is from this foreign influence, if you will. And so let's agree to not partake in it, something of that nature. Um, You see what I'm trying to say? I don't know if people would all be on board with that, but like I don't know. I know how to behave online, and I just don't know why other people can't fucking act right. This is stupid. It's so unnecessary. You know. Um, I need to do some other work here. I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon, guys. I got to work tomorrow, so Let's see what do we got. Western Kind says, I recommend searching on YouTube the most brutal birthday gift ever. It will make you laugh. All right. Well, on a laughing note, ha 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 ha. Let's wrap it up here. I don't. I really do want to go. I want to work more, but I kind of can't. So I'm gonna have to say sayonara to my friends. All right. So you guys have yourself a great night. I will look up this funny video. Hit the like button, everybody. Sweet dreams. Please do share the video. Share, 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 share. I'm trying to get more people on board with what I'm doing, and I've got other shows coming down the line too. Great hanging with you, buds. I really, really enjoy it. So you have yourself a good one. Yes, talk to you soon. And good night.